Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is a really lovely looking car. This is a Lexus CT200 and it's the F Sport model. Facelift model, as you can see, with covered just 36,000 miles with a wonderful history attached to it as well. It's got this gorgeous rose red leather interior. It's in fantastic condition. Facelift models really sought after. Really handsome looking car. Front of the car, lights and lenses are clear and intact without any cracks, condensation there at all. Bonnet, very clean, can't see any obvious stone chips at all. Near side of the car, absolutely indentation free, can't see any obvious panel dents at all on there. Paint's got a sort of windy, natural luster to it. Quite a unique looking car, and I think that's a really good thing actually. It's one that really kind of stands out. On the side of the car, this driver's side, again absolutely clean in the panels, no indentations there at all. There's a bit of straw on the back there, so it's not a scratch, so get off, there you are. But it's been kept very well indeed. It's not to say there isn't the odd minor imperfection. Naturally there's going to be, it's an 8-year-old car now, but it has been kept very nicely. Coming to the back of the car now, good sized boot, and beautifully finished as you expect from a Lexus. Let's come into the back now. Here you can see this absolutely gorgeous interior which has been kept absolutely beautifully. So on the passenger side on the front there, again obviously there's a full set of original Lexus mats. Passenger seat there been given absolutely minimal use. When they come to the driver's side, again door card in beautiful condition. Same with the footwell areas. The driver's seat itself, again it's been kept absolutely beautifully. So inside the car now, as you can see, engine running so the dash can be seen illuminated. And what an absolutely stunning interior it is, which I go on about much more in the road test video. Sat nav, you can see, working exactly as it should. Pop into reverse, you've got the nice clear parking camera, again all working exactly as intended. But it's been kept absolutely beautifully. Then to come up to the main dashboard binnacle, hopefully you can see 36,140 miles, and there's no warning lights on the dashboard at all. That's the dash display, by the way, you get in eco and normal mode. If I flick it to the right to sport, it starts to turn red and you get that rev counter. That's such an interesting interior. It just fits like a glove, it really does. And just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus CT200 F Sport. The car's registered YF15XCM, and the car's a mileage of just 36,140 recorded. The reason we do all of our videos, and actually especially this road test section, is to ensure that if anyone's actually online looking at any of our cars, they get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is because, like far too many people, we've been to see cars which have looked perfectly good in photographs or description, but only to get there and find out it's got an obvious fault that shows up whilst driving the car. So hence, that's why we do this section. Also done on these very quiet country roads in this beautiful part of Gloucestershire. This actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, and the hope is that it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, it's been a very well looked after. I think, it's from my memory, so you might have to check the advert, I think it's been serviced 7 times, of which I think 6 of them were done by the Lexus main dealers. So it's been very well looked after, and it is immediately obvious when you drive the car, because in essence I can't differentiate between driving this one and a new one. It's as tight as a drum in every single way. Press the power button, starts immediately, everything whirs into life silently as they do. It starts on the battery. There's no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. the hybrid system is utter genius. It really is light years ahead of its time, and even now other manufacturers haven't really caught up with it, certainly in terms of reliability. What is astounding actually, and if you've never driven a hybrid or particularly a Lexus one, is just how seamless everything is, because it's not just the engine, it's not just the hybrid system, it's not just the gearbox, it's all of them together that work together. And I always tell people when you drive them, and what bowls people over generally is actually low speed, funny enough, manoeuvring, parking, pulling out of junctions, all that kind of stuff. It's like driving an electric car. It's just so smooth. It's absolutely amazing to drive, and it's just so, I don't know, if you do lots of all sorts of driving, it's fine, but particularly if you do lots of town driving, city driving, they are lovely cars to drive and own. It is, as Lexus referred to it, a self-charging car. That basically means you're not having to plug it in at any point. There's no range anxiety with running low on batteries and queuing up for hours to try and find somewhere to plug it in. Basically, you run it like a normal petrol car. So it gets low on fuel, you stand at a pump for a couple of minutes, top it up, and off you go again. And that's it. That's as hard as ownership is with them. It really is brilliant. The engine also gives you 3 modes of driving. So the car will always start in what they call normal mode, kind of the halfway house between the other two. You can twist this little knob to the left and go into eco mode, and you can feel it's noticeably sort of slower to respond on the throttle pedal, but it's obviously encouraging more battery use and encouraging you to be sort of gentler as a driver, and it does work in its own way. Press a button down, you're back to normal, or if you twist it to the right, you're in sport mode. Suddenly your dashboard's changed, you've got a rev counter, and you can feel, as soon as you touch the throttle, much more urgency to it. Quite often in my videos I bemoan the fact that the motoring press just don't seem to understand these cars, and it is true. The problem with them is, if you read lots of road test reports, you'll hear them talking about the fact that with CVT gearboxes, you put your foot down, the engine goes wah, and lots of noise. No, it's utter garbage. Basically, you drive a car as it's meant to be driven. That's what you do. You drive a manual in a certain way, you drive an automatic in a certain way, you drive certain types of automatics in certain ways, and this is no different. For 90% of your driving, it is the smoothest, nicest possible way to get from A to B. Every now and again, you're going to want to accelerate very hard to get past something, maybe joining a motorway. Typically I'm behind a car which is going quite slowly, but I'm going to drop back. So just normally driving around, so smooth. Put foot down hard now, you can hear the engine's revs go up, back off the throttle, and it comes back down, because that's what you do. And it's just for a short period of time. It's what it's designed to do. It's the most efficient way. It's, as they call it, a constantly variable transmission, which is why it's so efficient. But that's the one thing the motoring press tend to sort of comment on, forgetting the fact that by comparison to other gearboxes of its types, no matter how good they might be, they're all sort of slightly jolty at low speeds, or clunky, indecisive, all those kinds of things. It beggars belief, it really does. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Steering, by the way, track's dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. And it's a lovely power steering system. I've always said the CT200 is what I call a really nice front end on the car. Basically what I mean by that is it's keen. As you change direction, the steering is it's got quite sharp in a way, so it loves to change direction, and the car can keep up with it really well. So if you like your driving and you're going up sort of A, B roads, doesn't matter what they are, it loves them. It's actually a really enjoyable car to drive, yet it's still eminently comfortable. It's very well damped. The ride, it's because it's got to sort of satisfy two things, to be reasonably comfortable, but also allow the handling it affords itself, and it does it very well. Only kind of potholes and ridges, as with most modern cars, it'll feel them, but not uncomfortably so at all. Also, there are no vibrations or clunks or rattles from the suspension at all. It's all in perfect order there. Just going to get to the legal limit and give the brakes a bit of a shove. Make sure one's behind me. But really good brake pedal on the car. what you're looking for in particular is kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, and there's none. It's perfect. Worth pointing out, by the way, hopefully the next couple of days it'll be going off for an MOT, which is done independently of us, so all these things are going to be checked as a matter of course. Finally, coming inside the car, and this, I've got to kind of rein in my enthusiasm sometimes for cars. I've got to be objective as well. The reality is, the first thing you notice is straight away Lexus build quality. They are brilliantly put together cars in the real world, better than anything else in their class. More than that, it's just a lovely place to sit, and it's very hard to put your finger on exactly why. What I've always loved, first of all, the layout visually, as soon as you get in, just look at it, think, well, that's nice, it looks nice. And everyone that gets in the car with you as a passenger goes, oh, they're lovely, isn't it? Everyone comments. There's a lot of people getting normal cars, you're getting a Golf or a Focus or something, and no one's going to comment about how nice it looks inside. Most of them just go, yeah, nice car. But they all comment on because it is different, but in a really good way. With this rose red leather, it's stunning. The textures, the little bits of carbon effect there, and the silver trims, they've got it just exactly right. But then you come to the most important part, your driving position, which is perfect. You can a multitude of adjustments, obviously, with the electric seat adjustment, but you can get very comfortable, plenty of headroom. But when you read the sales blurb from a lot of manufacturers, they talk about you feel at one with the car, you feel intimate, you feel kind of, it feels like a cockpit design, and it's utter garbage. It doesn't feel like that at all. It just all feel the same. This one actually does, and it's maybe because this is up sort of slightly higher, and it kind of folds around you, but in a slightly different way optically. It's very, very special, actually, I think, to sit in this car. I think it's one of these cars that you get in and I don't know, I always loved them, but everything's working as it should. You've got the sat-nav up there working absolutely spot on. You've got a dual zone climate control system, which gives you different temperatures side to side if you so wish, but also pumps out absolutely ice cold air, because we checked that in a nice warm workshop. Heated seats, again, working exactly as they should. All the detailing, all the switch gear, the leather surround here, the stitching, again, the effect of it is of something of very high quality. To me, this reminds me of going back into kind of the sort of 70s and 80s, when you used to get these amazing high quality hi-fi systems, and the detailing looks so reminiscent of that but in a kind of modern way, but it's so pleasing to look at. Then you've got this dash design in front. It's relatively simple and minimalist, and all the better for it, because you just look at it, take your information in. But as with everything else in the car, the detailing is beautiful. And then again, leather-bound steering wheel with a little F Sport embossed, badged in the bottom there. Perfect sort of rim design, red stitched leather on it. Yeah, lovely car. Absolutely lovely car, and I cannot fault it in any way. It drives absolutely perfectly.